Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your reading for the week of February 13th through 19th, 2024. This is a reading for you if you are a Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising, or have some other significant Scorpio placement in your chart. If you're new to this channel, welcome. It's good to have you here. I hope this reading resonates with you this week. And if you are returning to this channel, welcome back. And I hope this reading is good for you this week. I just want to mention in the description below, I have links to my PayPal donation tip thing if you are interested in doing that. Obviously, nobody has to do that, but if you wanted to, that is definitely down in the description, along with my website, liminalreiki.com, which actually leads to my business, which is called Transition Life Coaching. I do spiritual coaching, Reiki, astrology, human design, and I also read tarot and oracle, as I have for 37 years now. So that link is down there, and also the social media handles that I use on Instagram and Facebook. So with that out of the way, I use a full horoscope spread. So I am looking at all angles of your week, not just say love or career, but we try to look at the whole big picture. And obviously each house has a lot of different meanings, or at least a certain number of them. So I'm going to translate it. I'm going to try to read it according to what I get intuitively, but also I'm going to try to read the fullest definition of the house. So there may be certain things that I talk about that don't apply to you because it's not your situation. So if I'm talking about a single person finding love and you're married, then obviously that doesn't apply to you. Things like that. Along with this spread, I use the Cartouche deck, which is the one I have been using for years. This is my favorite system. It's the Egyptian deck. Most accurate, at least from my perspective, or I resonate with it at least. And then I clarify it with the tarot, and the tarot deck I am using this week is the Mythic Tarot by Julia Sherman Burke, and then we will finish up with an oracle reading using the Moonology deck. Okay, so Scorpio, first house. This is your personality, Aries energy, how you present yourself to the world, how people see you. Okay, so we have Osiris with the Eight of Swords. So Osiris indicates somebody, this always comes up when you're in a case where you can rely on your own judgment, where you're being stable, being grounded about a particular situation, looking at it from a perspective of authority and of control and of leadership. So this card frequently shows up in the first house when, if we feel like our judgment's being called into question, we can rely on our judgment. However, you do have it with the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords seems to indicate, this is when you tie yourself in a mental knot, so to speak. You are, here we have Orestes between Apollo and the Furies. He's between a rock and a hard place, really. I mean, in a way. He's, although that's a different myth. So Apollo is telling him that he had to kill his mother to avenge his father, and then the Furies are after him because matricide is a crime and you can't kill your mother. So he's like, what am I supposed to do? So yeah, there's definitely this sense here with the Eight of Swords that we are looking at something one way. Perhaps we are feeling stuck about something. Nonetheless, we are definitely, I think the phrase a lot of readers use is up in your head. So I think you kind of need to simplify and get clear rather than, I just feel like there's a lot of mental energy being expended and maybe not to useful purposes. It may be that you are spending a lot of time overanalyzing a situation or doubting a situation when this is saying that you're seeing things rather clearly. So second house is financial. This is Taurus. This has to do with money, possessions, what you value. Okay, so we have King of Swords with Earth. So Earth is a good sign in this house because it can indicate monies that are coming in. Now, King of Swords could be a person who is the source of this money. King of Swords is, it's generally air energy, so we're talking Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius. Or it can just be somebody who has some kind of authority. It can be a legal figure, or a professor, or a mentor. But nonetheless, whoever this person is, they're very cool and they're very detached. There's, just very much, all facts, all business, okay, is the King of Swords here. And we're seeing this connected to finances in some way. So I don't know whether this is somebody who is maybe lobbying on your behalf to get money. Maybe there's a legal situation or there's somebody you're appealing to. But it seems like there's money coming in from some kind of a source that's either legal or, there's definitely just, again, there's this very strong intellectual energy. So I don't know if it's an intellectual venture, or whether this is just a person who maybe is connected either with the law or with some other kind of official institution, that is bringing money in some way. Or it could just simply be saying that you need to look at your finances with a very critical and clinical eye. Now, third house is Gemini energy, so this is messages, okay? Communications, this is Mercury energy with Gemini, and it could be short journeys, short-term travel. It can be self-effort, so if you're in your own business, that would be here. This can also have to do with sibling relationships, brother-sister relationships. Okay, so we have Buckle of Isis with the Seven of Swords. So we've got a double 7 here because this card is 25, 2 plus 5 equals 7, and we've got the 7 here. So there's something, okay, 7 of Swords indicates either you're being sneaky or somebody else is, okay? You can take that as it resonates. Maybe you feel like you either have to be diplomatic in a situation or like you are watching or kind of being behind the scenes, or you think that somebody else is trying to sabotage the situation. Take it as it resonates, whether that has to do with business, with just some kind of general communications that you're suspicious of, whether this is in a sibling relationship, I don't know, but take it as it resonates. And the Buckle of Isis seems to indicate an effort that, it has to do with an effort that is going to be rewarded. The word fidelity is popping into my head here too. So maybe in a certain situation, like if there's somebody that you've trusted and now you feel like you have untrustworthy communications, this is a card that has to do with fidelity, with somebody being loyal. So, there could be concerns about loyalty of somebody. I don't know why that's coming into my head. That is one interpretation of this card. It's not usually the first one to jump into my head. So I feel like it does apply to somebody who's watching. But nonetheless, I feel like there are sacrifices that need to be made, or something needs to be let go of in order for things to go well. Okay. So there's something here. But again, I don't know if this is you doing this or if this is somebody doing this to you. Only you would know, but it's, and it may be different for everybody, okay? But there's definitely the sense here of either self-sabotage or somebody who's manipulating the situation. So, yeah, take that as it resonates here. Okay, fourth house. This is Cancer energy. Cancer is about the home, the environment, family. It also may have to do with your mother. Okay, we have the Crook and Flail with the Seven of Pentacles. So Seven of Pentacles, again, it's funny because this is another 7, okay? This is our third 7 here. Do we have a 7 in the first house? No, it's an 8, King, okay. Yeah, this is our third 7 here. And Seven of Pentacles is about waiting for something, patiently waiting for something to happen. It can also be an evaluation of whether or not you're putting energy into something that you should. Should you be walking away from something? Now, Crook and Flail, again, could have to do with legal matters. Now, it's interesting because I see this King of Swords over here. So that's why I'm wondering if there isn't something, and maybe the Seven of Swords, maybe you think somebody's double dealing you in some way. I don't know. But this has to do with, okay, this card has a few different meanings, but the phrase that's coming into my mind from the old cartouche book is being on the right side of the law. So in other words, somebody who is truthful, somebody who is, who is on the right side of things. In other words, if not the Seven of Swords energy, this would be somebody who's on the right side of things, who's seeing truth, who's embodying truth or telling truth. This can also be somebody who's an authority figure. This can have to do with something that has to do with confidence. But I feel for somebody, this may have to do with a legal issue connected to home or family. And with the Seven of Pentacles, there could be evaluating or waiting to see what's going to come of it. So this could do with a sale of a home for somebody. It could have to do with something connected to family. I don't know. It depends because, it's just interesting that I'm seeing these 3 7s. And actually, there's a 4th 7 because I've got 16 and then a 5th 7. A lot of 7s in this reading. Let me see if there's any others. Let's see the overall here. Yeah, you've got like 5 7s in this reading. So number 7 is important, whether that's the 7th month, whether that's something in 7 weeks, 7 days, within 7 months. So today's, February, so something by late September, I don't know. But there's definitely this sense of, I don't know, waiting for something. Like there's, you're double thinking something. Maybe it's a legal deal, listen to me. Legal deal, boy, it's late, surrounding a home situation or security situation. Or like I said, a contract. Maybe you're thinking about getting a mortgage. Maybe you're putting money out and you're saying, should I be putting this money into it? I don't know, but there's definitely something that seemed to be connected to home or family here with your finances. So, yeah, take that as it resonates. And there does seem to be some legal stuff going on, at least for somebody. Fifth house, we have Leo energy. So Leo is creativity, love affairs, children, can also be recreation and leisure. And yeah, we got justice again, like another legal card. What are the legal cards today? And you've got it with Lotus, which is number 16. Like I said, that's another 7. 1 plus 6 is 7. Lotus is, okay, so given the nature of this house, Lotus has to do with calming the mind in an anxious situation. And this has to do with fairness, justice, or getting the truth of a situation. So this could have to do with a situation with a child, potentially. I mean, you can, take that as it resonates. Maybe it's a situation with a love affair. Justice could be somebody who's Libra, but it doesn't have to be. But there's definitely a sense of trying to get something in balance and trying to get something right. So this could pertain to a love affair. If you're interested in somebody, this could pertain to a child. If it pertains to a creative project, then there's something about it that's causing anxiety, and that either there needs to be something balanced out or some kind of truth has to come out of it. So, yeah, well, take that as it resonates there. Sixth house is Virgo energy. This is health. This is worry. This is job. So if you're working, it's like service to others. Can have to do with domestic animals too. And in fact, we have Sphinx, which I always associate with cats, but doesn't have, that's very specific. Doesn't have to do with that necessarily. Although we have another cat here. We have Strength. We have the lion. So yeah, okay. This shows a very strong holding back in something. This doesn't feel like a health issue to me unless you're keeping a secret about a health issue from somebody. Because Strength certainly in the health house would indicate being able, if you are not feeling well, there would definitely be the sense of being able to overcome those obstacles. But Sphinx suggests something that's secret or hidden. I don't feel like this is like a bad health situation for somebody. Like, for example, like, oh, there's a secret thing and my doctor hasn't uncovered it. Like, I don't feel that. I feel more like there's a situation here either connected to something you're worried about, maybe to a job. Maybe somebody has something going on with the cat, again, that I'm just covering all bases here. But I do feel like this is saying there's something, because Strength is also about holding back, as is Sphinx. So there's something either connected to a job, to a health issue, or something that you're worried about, where you're not necessarily revealing something. You're kind of holding back. There's just this idea of not maybe exactly expressing how you feel or not entirely telling something about a situation. So take that as it resonates, and whether it has to do with a job, with a health issue, or with just a general worry. Seventh house is Libra energy. So this is about marriages, legal partnerships, legal kind of arrangements. Okay. And this is interesting because so if you're single and if you are looking for love, okay, first of all, over here, I feel like there's a situation where you're looking for some kind of truth or balance, or maybe an easing of your mind, and you have another 7 here, Nepothus, and you have it with the Hermit. So yeah, certainly if you have met anybody right now, the Hermit suggests to me that you are on your own, that there's a strong independence to the Hermit. So this is like going it alone, whether by choice or just, usually the Hermit's by choice. It's just kind of like, okay, I'm pulling away from something. I need to evaluate where I am, figure out who I am, rather than get involved in a relationship. And indeed, Nepothus would indicate if you are looking for a long-term commitment and you have not found it, this is saying if there is such a person, they're not here yet. If you are in a dating relationship and you want to know if this is going to become a marriage, this combination, I say, very doubtful. But it could just simply be that you have somebody who needs time to themselves right now, whether it be you or the partner, and that it's not ready to go anywhere. Now, if you already are married or in a partnership, then it does seem like there is somebody who might be withdrawing or needing a little time out for some mental or emotional healing. So let's look at the 8th house. This is your own energy, Scorpio energy. And this has to do with transformations, big transformations, life, death stuff. I mean, this is your house, Scorpio, is one of the deepest ones in the whole of the astrological system here. And it also can have to do with other people's money. Now you've got water with the Hanged Man. Okay. So this is interesting because this reminds me of having the Eight of Swords in the first house. You are in a process of change. You are going with the flow right now, Scorpio. Things are changing in your life, okay? There's movement. There could even be strong emotions here with water. But you have it with the Hangman. So the Hangman indicates feeling stuck. You know, you've got water that's moving, and this is telling you you're stuck. And I'm seeing this kind of throughout this reading. There's a lot of mental energy. There may even be some self-sabotage. There's the holding back over here with Strength. There's the withdrawing from everybody with the Hermit. I don't know. There's this energy of you withdrawing, reevaluating, looking at everything, maybe overlooking at everything. And the Hangman would tell you need to get out of your head. You need to hang upside down a little bit and look at things from, take a 180-degree turn, look at it from a different perspective. In the Fairies Oracle, there's this cute little card called the Topsy-Turvies, and that's exactly what I think of. Like, you gotta turn it all, give it a 180-degree turn and think about it differently. So there's definitely a need to get unstuck, to get moving again, because the universe is going to move you whether you're ready or not. So I think it's time for you to take a broader perspective in your life right now, like on something. There's something here where you may be looking at something too narrowly, and I feel like the Eight of Swords in the first house bears that out. Ninth house is Sagittarius energy. This has to do with expansion, speaking of. Expanding your horizons. It can be taking, learning something. It can be going back to school, higher ed usually, or taking on a certification or something. It can also be about long-distance travel, taking a long trip somewhere. It can have to do with deeper thought, religious institutions of all kinds, or anything that involves thinking more deeply about the meaning of life and also about freedom. Yeah, so we've got Pyramid with the Queen of Swords. So somebody here, there's a very strong intellectual vibe here with Queen of Swords. There could be somebody who is, professor or going to school or is a teacher. There's a strong teacher vibe with the Queen of Swords for me. Somebody, so this could be somebody that you're dealing with. It could be you. It could be a situation for which you have very, very high standards. Now, I think it's interesting. It's not quite in the opposite houses, but you do have both the King and Queen of Swords here. Okay, and Queen of Swords, for somebody, this could actually, because this is also a house that has to do with legal issues at times, this could even be a divorce for somebody. So maybe that's what I'm seeing here. Maybe somebody here is getting divorced or has gotten divorced. And yeah, so there's this very, the Queen of Swords energy is sort of cold, clinical, and kind of the whole I've seen this all before kind of energy. And you've got Pyramid here. So this is the idea of a test situation, something where you feel like you're being challenged. It does indicate things coming out all right in the end, but there does seem to be some kind of a situation. So whether this is legal, whether this is connected to somebody who's far away or a long trip that you're planning to take or have taken, or whether this has to do with something around a school, educational, or religious institution, that could be. Or it just means that right now, your version of expanding your horizons, like there's test situations going on. There's things that are testing you, and maybe there's something for which you have very, very high standards, maybe standards that are too high. Like sometimes there's a perfectionist thing with the Queen of Swords, but yeah, take it as it resonates. But there's definitely, again, more strong mental energy, and this is in the house of deep thought, and you've got this idea of potential sabotage in the house of practical thought. So I don't know. There could be a connection between these two things, especially if there is any kind of legal matter involved. But if not, then I would just say that this is some kind of a situation that you are looking at, like your finances, from a very sort of clinical and detached kind of perspective. Let's look at the 10th house. This is Capricorn energy. This is Saturn. It has to do with career, reputation, and fame, and also the father. Okay, so we have Hathor with the Six of Swords. So this is interesting. Again, for some of you, I saw water and movement here. This card would indicate potentially, again, a trip across water. It can also just be a trip to, it may not even be, it could be a trip, to someplace, but it can also be moving away into calmer water, after there's been some conflict. And you have it with Hathor. So now for some of you, this could indicate a career in something aesthetic. So it could be somebody who's a massage therapist, somebody who is a hairdresser, or works in fashion, or works in the beauty industry, or even does something domestic, like working in a bakery or something like that. Something that's kind of Venus associated or feminine associated. It's possible that there's a job or career that's connected to that. If not, then I would say that this would have to do with a female. who may be connected. This could be you. This could be you getting organized. Hathor usually in the 10th house is somebody who has a career and is very strongly business minded and very efficient. Whereas in the 4th house, that would be a completely different meaning. But yeah, so there's this strong feminine energy. Sometimes this is passivity, but this can also indicate an actual person, like an actual woman who's involved somehow in your legacy or what you plan to leave behind. And 6 of Swords here, yeah, there's definitely this need to be moving away from something. 6 months does jump into my head, so I don't know, that could be a relevant time frame for somebody on something, but yeah, so I just feel like there's a move that needs to be made, whether it's a literal move or whether this is just a move away from a high stress situation of some kind. So yeah, so take that as it resonates there. Oh, the other thing about 6 of Swords, sometimes this means seeing something for what it actually is rather than what you want it to be. So yeah, if that has a meaning for you, have that there. Okay, 11th house is Aquarius energy. And Aquarius is about friendships. It's about our social networks, our destiny, and our goals. Okay, so you have Thoth with the 9 of Swords. Again, now, Thoth to me normally has to do with divine timing, okay, with something being timed at the right time. But to me, I also feel like there could be another legal bent to this. You've got a lot of legal cards in here, in quite a few different places. You've got Justice, you've got Crook and Flail, you've got this card, which can have to do with justice in certain situations, not always. But I feel like this is more of a card of either spiritual healing, karma, receiving what you're owed on some sort of a cosmic level, I guess, but also about things happening at the right time. So whether this connects to a goal or to something going on with a friend, this could be a friend who's either in the medical profession or a doctor or maybe a lawyer too. That may be possible for some people. But I feel like there's something about timing here, and you have it with the 9 of Swords. So you are definitely worried about something. You're either worried about a wish or you're worried about a connection. Maybe now if the connection is a friend or somebody who's very close, I mean, we do see the Hermit with this over here. So maybe there's somebody who's not getting in touch when they should, and maybe there's a lot of mental angst about that. Or maybe there's just mental angst about whether or not a wish that you have is going to come true. And I feel like Thoth may be saying here that whatever it is you're looking to accomplish here, it will happen in its right time. It may not be the time. Even though there is movement and change here, it may be that you're too focused on one particular thing or one particular goal, and you need to broaden what you're looking at here. Okay, so 12th house is Pisces energy. This is what's hidden. This is what you don't show people. This may be what you're afraid of. And you've got Anubis with the 5 of Wands. So this is a very, very specific message and it may not even necessarily apply to anybody this week. But I will just say Anubis in the 12th house for anybody undergoing a medical procedure who has to have anesthesia. This would indicate anesthesia going well. So if that applies to anybody, and I'm not saying it applies generally, then take that as it resonates. But we have Anubis more generally is about a card of protection and negotiation, and we have it with the 5 of Wands. So 5 of Wands has a strong contentious energy. I think maybe you feel like you're in competition with somebody, or there's kind of this quarrelsome energy, or maybe you're worried about a quarrel. There seems to be this, I'd worry about like protecting yourself from something. There is kind of a lot of energy of expending maybe too much mental energy. There's a big focus here on justice and getting what you feel maybe is right in a situation. And also there seems to be this kind of you holding a lot of things back and so I feel like, I guess what I'm saying is there's a strong energy of protection or needing to feel protected. And with the 5 of Wands here, yeah, there just seems to be this idea of competition or a fear of competition on something. And I'm not sure exactly what that is. You'll have to take that as it resonates. But it's almost like you're looking for some kind of protection. Like maybe there's a fear of having to negotiate something, if that makes sense. Because Anubis has to do with protection, but can also have to do with being diplomatic, negotiating, figuring something out. And I don't know whether you have a fear of somebody else in a negotiation or whether this is just, you're like, I'm not in the mood to negotiate. I don't know. Take it as it resonates. Overall, you have the fire card this week, Scorpio. So yeah, there's this is definitely a strong energy, not only of being inspired. This can have to do with a situation that's ongoing or enduring. This is definitely very active energy. This is not passive, and it does oftentimes have to do with burning up the rubbish and solving the problem. And indeed, we do have a lot of cards here of, you know, clear thought, getting away from sabotage, maybe overthinking, reevaluating situations, looking for the truth, holding back on something, needing a broader perspective. I mean, all of this is coming up in this reading. So very strongly, I feel like there's a need to resolve something, like being inspired to resolve something here. And we have the Four of Swords with the Ten of Pentacles. So I don't know. Now, Ten of Pentacles has a strong element of legacy to it, okay? So Ten of Pentacles is, it has to do with completion. And the fact that I'm seeing money over here in the second house may indicate that, you know, you're in a very good financial position right now. Maybe you recently won a legal settlement or something. I don't know. But or maybe you've just gotten some kind of a job or work that has strengthened your position. But there's definitely a lot of money here. And I guess this has a strong family and legacy kind of vibe. So, yeah. So I'm not sure, you know, overall, it's a very good card to have as a kind of overall for your reading. You do have it with the Four of Swords, though, so that kind of goes with the Hermit. I feel like there's either a sickness or maybe you've been sick, or I don't know if it has to do with somebody else, or maybe you just need to take a vacation and get away from things if you haven't been physically sick. But there's definitely this sense of, a lot of sword energy in this. I've got how many sword cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 sword cards out of 13. That's quite a lot. Okay, so there's a lot of mental energy going on for you right now, Scorpio. And I feel like you're trying to dive deep into something and trying to get the truth of something. But the fact that you have the Eight of Swords and the Hanged Man tells me that you're mentally stuck somewhere. There's a place where you need to mentally get unstuck. You may be looking at something, you may be laser-like focused on something in some way, and that's not the correct way. You know, it's not, there's more to the story, there's more to the situation. You need to look at the bigger picture, or you need to look at other alternatives. So let's look at the full, let's get a Moonology card here for Scorpio for the week of 13th through the 19th of February. Yep. Okay. So you have full moon in Capricorn, okay? And this is the end of a tough cycle approaches. So, okay. And now I know from the booklet that this card says, you know, and just like that, a door slams shut. So I feel like something is coming to an end here. But again, when certain doors slam shut, then other ones open. So I feel, and maybe that's kind of this thought or this paranoia that I'm seeing here, is the idea that maybe there's something that's been going on that it's something that's no longer to your purpose, and you need to think differently about a particular situation. But this does say that the end of a tough cycle approaches. So I feel like whatever's going on here with this full moon in Capricorn, you are definitely moving towards the end of something, for which there seems like there's going to be a conclusion. We've got like Justice, Strength, we've got the Hermit, we've got, King and Queen of Swords. I mean, whatever it is, I feel like there's going to be, whatever has been difficult is finally going to stop, or is finally going to come to an end. But it may mean the ending of something else at times. Overall, I just feel like this means that there's like I said, there's a lot of worry here, but I feel like with the shifts that are coming in, that there is definitely something that is going to be coming to an end for you here. But again, the fact that this is saying this is the end of a tough cycle, I don't necessarily think that this is a negative thing, that this is something that probably is very good for you in some fashion. So, thank you very much for watching this week, Scorpio. If you did like this reading, please give it a thumbs up. Do consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.